Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Underground 4 Studios in Macomb County, Michigan. We are right back with a brand new show and a brand new episode for all you guys and all listeners around the globe, wherever you may be. We're back with a brand new show for you. Yeah, I haven't done this in a while. It's been about 2 years, I'd say. It's been about 2 years, I'd say, since I was behind a camera, talking into a microphone in front of a camera. And I'm super excited for this. This is something I've been talking about doing for a while. Something that I did this summer. I did one episode of it, so I shouldn't say I did it. I did a singular episode of it, and then I never did it again. But this is something I've wanted to do, a Macomb Metalcore podcast. It's something that I've had in the back of my head for a while. It's something that I've been wanting to do, something I thought would be cool, something I personally think I can enjoy doing, and something that I think a lot of people can come forward and like also enjoy this with me, which is something that I really, really want to do and really want to get more people like actually into this kind of thing. A lot of people still just view it as like all that screaming stuff, and people are scared of it and whatnot, and be like, oh, like I don't like this, like how could I like this? He's just screaming. This is bad. It hurts my ears. Are you angry? No, I'm not angry. This makes me happy, actually. And I think that it's something that not only myself enjoys, but a lot of people enjoy, and a lot more people are going to begin to enjoy. I know like Pierce the Veil's been taking off as of late for songs they released 10 years ago. A Knock Loose has been taking off on the internet for Counting Worms, comparing it to the SpongeBob sound and all that. And it's something that a lot of people more and more are being drawn to and being like, okay, that's not bad. Okay, like that song's good. Oh, like he's screaming, but it's cool. That sounds good. People are realizing that it's not just screaming. It's fun. It's fun and people like it. And that's what I want to get out to the world and prove that to people and get them enjoying this kind of thing. Because it is fun, man. It is very fun. Very fun. And life is good when this happens. So yeah, it's the Macomb Metalcore podcast. It's technically episode 2, but like back when I did that, there was no visual picture. The audio was awful. I took it on my phone on a desk. Like, it wasn't good audio. It was terrible. And so this is, in my opinion, episode 1 of the Macomb Metalcore podcast. I'm home for 5 weeks. I'm in this brand new studio. We got this thing back. Got a computer. The lights are right here. Brand new desk. We got 3 bass guitars and a guitar right here. I don't know why I said that. Like, I don't know why I said guitar. My bad. But we've got that. And it just looks cool here. It's fun. And it's something I want to do. It's something that we're going to do, and we're going to try, and we're going to see what happens. And so, welcome to episode 1 of the Macomb Metalcore podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Spotify Wrapped / Apple Music Replay. Me, personally, I hate Spotify. I think it's garbage. I don't enjoy it. I think it's really confusing. I don't like it. But, luckily, Apple Music, shout out to Apple Music, has their own thing now. It's called Apple Music Replay. And last week when Spotify Wrapped came out, it's one of the like more fun days on the internet of the year. People make all the jokes about it. People share their music opinions throughout the year, their top artists, their top songs, their top albums. Oh, I listened to this song 74 times. Congrats. Cool. Like, it's fun, and it gets people going. It gets all people engaged, and people all come together for a little bit for it, and it's fun. So as soon as Spotify Wrapped came out, so did Apple Music Replay, and that's what I use. And so, like, it's basically the same thing. It doesn't have, like, all the, like, super, super cool things that Spotify Wrapped has, but it's basically the same thing, and I always get super excited when it comes out. It's one of my favorite things to do, and just look through and be like, I can't believe I listened to this that many times. Oh, there's no way that's my number 3 song. I didn't think I listened to it that much. Just like stuff like that. And so today, we're going to be breaking down my Apple Music Replay throughout the year, which we're going to do my top 10 albums, my top 10 songs, and my top 10 artists, and share my music with the world. And just honestly, like, there's some stuff that on here that's kind of crazy, and I'm just like, I can't believe I did that. And I want to tell people about it because I think it's funny. Like, for example, the fact that I listened to Wage War for 64 hours in a year, insanity. Like, crazy. I don't know how I did that, but I still love every like there's always like that one band or that one artist who, it doesn't matter if you listen to every single song they have every single day for a year, you're still gonna love them. And that's exactly what Wage War is for me. It's insane. I can never get bored of them. Just straight up, I can never, ever, ever get bored of them. And they were my number one artist this year. 64 hours, and I'm honestly very, very proud of that. I don't think there's another person in this world who's beaten that. So if somebody listened to Wage War for more than 64 hours this year, please speak up, because I want to shake your hand, because I personally think I am the number one Wage War fan in the world. But that's just my opinion. But if somebody beat me out, then I would like to virtually shake your hand. This is me virtually shaking your hand. You've outdone me, and you're a bigger Wage War fan than me. Honestly, shout out to Mission Barbecue. Great new restaurant by my house. But anyway, I think we should just get right into it. So starting off, I think we're gonna start off with albums. In my top 10 albums of the year, we're gonna go from 10 to 1, and just talk about each one a little bit. Same thing with songs, same thing with artists, and then we'll wrap up. Excuse me. So for my albums of the year with 156 plays, we have Manic by Wage War. Very experimental album by Wage War. Came out late 2021. Wage War doesn't have a bad album. They don't have a bad song. This album does not have a bad song. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Everything you can think of, this album is. It's experimental. It's fun. It's gut-wrenching. It's sad. It's beautiful. It's heavy. It's soft. It's just perfect all around. A shout to the dudes in Wage War. They just kill it every time. I love this album. Next, number 9 with 161 plays, we have the greatest EP of all time, and this EP would be number 1 if it wasn't only 6 songs. If this was a full-length album, this would be my number 1 album by a long shot. We have Knock Loose, A Tearing the Fabric of Life. Every single song, like a track to open an EP/album or whatever, like Where Light Divides the Holler, man. There's honestly nothing like it. That song, because I got to see Knock Loose for the first time ever in Vegas in October at a When We Were Young Fest. Well, it was canceled when I was supposed to go, but luckily they did a pop-up show that day with Bring Me the Horizon, and I got to see Knock Loose. I was in the pit. It was in like the 4th row. I was right by Brian Garris. It was amazing. And let me tell you, if you've never seen Knock Loose, 1, go. 2, opening with Where Light Divides the Holler is the greatest, and I don't say that slightly. I've been to a lot of shows. Is the greatest opening song for a band of all time. Of all time. It's perfect. It's amazing. It gets the crowd going. It's fun. It's one of their best songs. It's sad. It's just, it's beautiful. If you've never seen Knock Loose, get there now. Now, I swear. Anyway, all right. I'm moving on to number 8. The Grand Rapids fellas in Hollow Front with 167 plays. The Price of Dreaming. This album came out in like May. I don't if I'm being honest, I listened to this song a lot when it first came out. Like a lot, and I haven't listened to it in a long time. It's something that I probably should look into again. It's just a great album. It's especially great because they're from Grand Rapids. Like, that just makes it even better. Grand Rapids is about 2.5 hours from me, but it's only about an hour away from where I go to school. And so, like, Grand Rapids is home in a way. Like, it's not at all. It's kind of far, actually. But, like, it's in Michigan, and, like, you just have the connection. I got to see Hollow Front this year. They put on a great show with, who was that? Fit for a King and Silent Planet. It was a great show. Next is number 7, 171 plays. Ice Nine Kills, Welcome to Horrorwood, The Silver Scream 2. As soon as this album came out and people started saying it's better than Silver Scream 1, I was like, that's one of the greatest albums ever. Like, nothing at all. Like, nothing's topping that at all. Nothing's even coming close. But then I listened to this, and then I listened to it again and again and again and again. And this album is way better than the Silver Scream 1. And that's not a diss on the Silver Scream 1. Silver Scream 1 is honestly a 10 out of 10. Like, you can't write a better album than that, you'd think. But this one just happens to be a 12 out of 10. And so it takes over the Silver Scream, and it makes Silver Scream look not as good as it is, because that album deserves greatness. This album went above and beyond what it had to do. Every single song is phenomenal. Beautiful, gut-wrenching. If you've seen them live, I've been lucky enough to see them I want to say 3 times, and they put on a great show every single time. Every single time. Number 6 is where it gets weird, and I don't know how this happened, but I'm not complaining. Number 6, with 174 plays, is Landon Tours, the lead singer of the Plot News, solo gig, Frontal Lobe Submission. This has 5 songs on it, and I listened to it 174 times. I just saw Landon Tours. Well, I didn't see him. I saw the Plot News, but I saw them about Monday, 9 days ago. Phenomenal show. Landon live is phenomenal. The Plot News live is phenomenal. I would love to see all of Frontal Lobe Submission as a show on one day. If a solo show comes to Michigan or anything, I'd love to see that. No, this is always one album where I put on if it's just one of those times where you're like not really like okay, like I just want to sit back and just listen to some normal music but still have like that fun like rock metal vibe, and like that's what I put on. I put on a lot of Landon Tours. It's not even just this EP, all his stuff. He doesn't have a bad song, whether it's in the Plot News or his solo gig. I'm loving what he does. He does really good at what he's very good at what he does. He writes a lot of good music. 5 is one of my albums of the year. I'd say this is probably like number 3 or 4 on that list. But a Color Decay with number 5, 192 plays. Color Decay by the Devil Wears Prada. Excuse me. This album doesn't have a skip. It's beautiful. Cancer is phenomenal. Broken is phenomenal. Watchtower, phenomenal. I'm trying to think of all the ones on there, but let me see. Trying to think of all the ones on there. Watchtower is beautiful. I already said that. But Salt is very, very good. This album is phenomenal. It just further proves how good the Devil Wears Prada is, that they're still releasing bangers like this album. How 20 or so years in their career, and they're still getting better and better by the day. It's beautiful, and you love to see that kind of thing. At number 4, 278 plays. My favorite Wage War album, personally, Deadweight. What's on here? Stitch. Stitch is on here. 2 Years Southbound. Trying to think. Gravity's on here. Johnny Cash is on here. And this is Wage War's best album, in my opinion. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's heavy. It's fun. And then Stitch is one of the coolest breakdowns of all time. Just like straight up. Like it's got one of the coolest entrances of all time, and it's amazing. So yeah, this is my opinion is Wage War's best album. It's not saying that like this one's way better than another one. Like it's all like it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of their albums. They're all scrunched together, and if you just got to pick a favorite, this is what I'm gonna have to go with. I love this album. Number 3 is a band that's been taking off lately, and I think is gonna become one of the biggest bands in metalcore ever. Number 3, 284 plays. My personal second favorite album of the year. Number 3, Bad Omens and Death of Peace of Mind. I remember when the Death of Peace of Mind, like, the track came out. I hated it, and I was like, I can't, like, because, like, at that point, I was already I've been a Bad Omens fan. Like, even before this album, even before people are starting to take off with, like, Just Pretend and whatever. Like, I've been a fan of Bad Omens, and they dropped the Death of Peace of Mind, the track, and I was like, this is not, like, the Bad Omens I want to listen to. I don't like this. But then they dropped the album, the full album. And boy, oh boy. Actually, I knew this album was going to be good as soon as Artificial Suicide came out. That was phenomenal. Absolutely, utterly phenomenal. That's honestly probably my favorite Bad Omens song of all time, if I had to be honest. It's just fun. It live is amazing. It's just all around great, beautiful, perfect. I know he's got a great voice. Them live are phenomenal too. If you've never been lucky enough to see Bad Omens live, then you're missing out, and you need to go see them ASAP. ASAP, I promise you. I promise you. You will not be let down. Number 2, with 302 plays, Hometown Boys, 30 minutes away in Southfield. Excuse me. True Power, I Prevail. This album got a lot of hate, and it made me really upset because people keep saying that I Prevail is going down into like the the mainstream rock kind of group and being like, oh, like they're not the same band that put out Lifelines. They're not the same band that put out Trauma. Trauma was nominated for a Grammy, first off, so anybody who hates that album is just wrong and doesn't know what they're talking about. And this album, I honestly think is better than Trauma. It's a lot more fun and more vibrant. I like, for example, I like Body Bag a lot more than, or I shouldn't say a lot more, but I definitely like Body Bag more than I like Bow Down. There's Fear and Letting Go is a beautiful song right off rip. Self-Destruction's beautiful. And just all that. I love this band. I love this album. I love every song that they put out. They're also one of those bands that don't have a bad song. So that's my take on that. Great album. Phenomenal. Doomed. Visceral. Choke. FWYTKY, sorry, is a banger of a song. That's one of my favorite Aberville songs ever. And this album delivered. I'm really happy. It was a great time for Aberville to come out with the album. I saw them in their hometown show in Detroit about 2 weeks ago. Well, 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And they put on a show for the hometown crowd. I love this band, and they're beautiful. My number one album, it's playing on my computer, ironically, with 311 plays throughout the year for an album that came out in what? May? March? Scoring the End of the World by Motionless in White. Do I need to explain? They dropped the best song of the year, Slaughterhouse with Brian Garris. They dropped the best song of the year. Every song is amazing. They have a number one right now with Masterpiece. Cyberhex is phenomenal. Cause of Death is good, very good. Werewolf's really good. Broadcasting from Beyond the Grave, great. Red, White, and Boom, great. Meltdown, great. There's not a bad song on this album. There's not a song that's just an okay song. Every song is very, 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 very phenomenal on this album. And Chris Motionless is just awesome. I said the word awesome like 6 times, but that's all I can say when it comes to this album. If you haven't listened to this song, if you haven't heard Slaughterhouse by Motionless in White featuring Brian Garris, you don't know what you're missing, man. You don't know. You don't know. It's perfect. Perfect. This album's perfect. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 12 out of 10 if you must. 15 out of 10 if you must. It's the best album of the year. Of the year, and it's my number one album for an exact reason. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up my number one album of the year. Both of every music in the world that's ever been released. And of the year. This is a sneak peek for next week. Scoring the End of the World by Motionless in White. And there's nothing close. The only ones that come close, True Power, Death, Peace of Mind, and Color Decay by Devil Wears Prada are the only ones that come close. That's it. This is a phenomenal album. You need to check it out. Okay. So that wraps up my albums on my Apple Music Replay. And now we're going to get into, I think we should go into artists, because this one's fun. We're going to go into artists and then songs. So I say we just could go right into it. My number 10 artist with 1,400 minutes. This is one that I honestly didn't really even get into until like September. And then I got, but don't get me wrong. I got really into it really fast and for a very long time. And I'm still in that phase. With 1,400 minutes, we have number 10, Paramore. I saw Paramore open with All I Wanted when we were young in Las Vegas. And I was hooked. Me and my girlfriend, Marissa, if you're watching this, hello. We had tickets to see them at Little Caesars Arena in June. Cause Paramore's like the one artist that like me and her can like agree on and listen to. Because my music taste and her music taste are like, mine's here on like this side, hers is way over here on this side. And then we find a middle ground with Paramore and it works out perfectly. But Paramore, the new album comes out like February 10th. And I'm super, super excited. This album's going to be really good. They dropped This Is Why. They've got the news dropping on Thursday, I think. On Thursday. And it's it's gonna be good. It's gonna shock a lot of people. A lot of people are excited for Paramore coming back, and so am I. At number 9 with 1,450 minutes, we have Landon Tours, who I spoke about. He's like that guy who, if I don't listen to some hardcore heavy stuff, Landon Tours is what I listen to. He's what I listen to. I just really like his voice. His voice is very, very good. He's fun. His stuff's all like funky, groovy, and I like it. It's fun. Shout out to Landon Tours of the Platinum and on his solo tracks. At number 8 with 1,530 minutes, we got Motionless in White, who I just talked about. Dropped the best album of the year. I'm surprised they're not higher, honestly. I listen to them a lot, but it's not even like their most recent album, Scoring the Underworld. A Disguise is one of the best albums ever, especially in metalcore. I love that album. They just have so many good songs. I've been lucky to see them 4 times, and they just get better every single time. I just saw them in Vegas last month. Absolutely phenomenal. Number 7, this is where things get funky. Something that I'm not used to. Co Wetzel, country guy, 1,730 minutes. I just saw him with Jelly Roll about a little less than a month ago, and he puts on a great show, man. He sounds just like the recordings. A country music is something that I've gotten into a little bit. I like Co Wetzel a lot. Trying to think. I like Morgan Wallen a lot, Hardy a lot, but it's mostly like if I had to put a name on my favorite country artist, it'd be Co Wetzel, and he has a lot of good songs. If you're trying to get into like some like a little bit of like the off metal kind of thing, I'd suggest Co Wetzel to you. You won't be disappointed. 6 Architects. I did not like their new album. That's probably in part of the fact that I didn't give it that much of a chance, just because I kind of gave in to the media talking about how bad it was, and like I've listened to it a couple times, but I never really super got into it. But it's just Architects in general are one of the greatest and most influential bands in metalcore history, and I wasn't a fan of their new album per se, but Deep Fake, it's the opening track on the new album, is one of my favorite Architect songs of all time. I honestly think that's on here. Oh, no, it's not. And same with When We Were Young. I love that song. I know I got a lot of hate through a lot of people saying, oh, is that the same Sam Carter who does blast in every song? Like, who cares? He's like 35 now. He's not the same dude he was back when These Colors Don't Run came out. Like, he's a different person. We all grow and change. And I think that the aspect of people getting upset with like Sam Carter and Architects for not doing that is very annoying and very silly. And then if you're upset, go listen to another great song in their new album, I Spit the Bone. He finally does the thing, and it's awesome. Like, I'm not saying I wish he didn't do it, but they put out music for us to listen to for them to get paid that they enjoy. And if they're making music that they enjoy, maybe it's not my favorite, but it's somebody's favorite. Like this new album, it wasn't my favorite. It was okay. It was solid. Like, it wasn't bad by any means. It wasn't great. Like, I'm not listening to it every day. It wasn't on my top 10 list of albums for the year, most listened to. but there's good songs on it, and there's a great range on that album for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're an old school Architects fan, like there's some parts on there that remind you of there. If you're a new school Architects fan, I don't even remember what the name of the last album was. What was it? It was with like the Space Ranger on it. I literally have the CD. Oh, For Those Who Wish to Exist. I love that album. I think that's their second best album, if you ask me. I love that album, and then like it's a little lesser version of that, and I just never got into it. But shout out to Architects, man. I love you guys. 5. This came from a spell of me wanting to go see them, and me trying to convince my boys to go see them with me, which we didn't end up going to see. But there was a month spell where this is all I listened to. 5 with 1,860 minutes is The Devil Wears Prada. This comes in large parts to their new album, and just being that album's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But then I'd never heard the Zombie 1 EP. I know I'm going to get hate for that, but I listened to that a lot. A lot. And then the Zombie 2 EP, phenomenal. Trying to think. The Red album, I don't remember the name of it, but the Red album that they put out before this last album, very, 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 very good. I got into that for a very long time. Like, that was like a summer thing. Like that was like a summer love. Like, this whole summer, Devil Wears Prada was one of my number one banged artists. 100%. That's not a lot. 4 is the band that's been my number one song for the past 3 years now, with 1900 Minutes. Saw him for the first time back in April. One of my favorite shows. I even got a picture with the lead singer. Shout out to you, Jamie. Number 4, Aussie Boys, the best Australian band, dare I say. The most fun, at least in my opinion. Polaris with 1900 Minutes. I'm expecting a new Polaris album this year, man. And if you're not, then saddle in. Because when Polaris drops a new album, their past 2 albums, The Mortal Coil and the Mortal Coil and The Death of Me, are 2 of the best metalcore albums of all time. And as soon as they put out another one, with how big they are now compared to when those 2 albums came out, they are going to destroy the world. And I guarantee you, in a year's time, if I'm still doing this, and when I talk about my best albums of 2023, I'm going to say Knock Loose and Polaris. Those are going to be my top 2. I guarantee it. Because that's just how good they are. And the hold that they have on me. So, yeah. Go Aussie Metalcore. All right. At number 3 is a band that's taken off. A lot of people are getting upset about people who listen to this band now, which I think is annoying. But I can prove to you I'm a real fan with the amount of times the amount of time I've listened to this band. 2100 Minutes. Bad Omens. I've been a fan since before Death Peace of Mind, before Just Pretend took off on Instagram or on TikTok, all that. Bad Omens is very good. They're taking over metalcore by world. I finally got to see them for the first time this year. I saw them with Under Oath, phenomenal show, and then I saw them do a headlining gig at the Machine Shop, which absolutely blew me away. I know Sebastian live is phenomenal, and that new headlining set list. I'm so upset I missed that show yesterday in Detroit, but it sold out so fast, and I didn't have a lot of money to drop on concert tickets at the point they went on sale, so it's okay. But a Bad Omens, every album perfect, 10 out of 10, and I think Death of Peace of Mind is their best album. I'd give it 11 out of 10. At number 2 and number 1 are my 2 favorite bands. We'll start off with number 2, 2300 Minutes. The boys from Louisville hardcore, the greatest hardcore band of all time. Knock Loose. I had the pleasure of seeing them for the first time this year. I met Kevin Kane in July at his bar in Louisville. And like, Knock Loose is just Knock Loose. They're phenomenal. They are phenomenal. I love Brian's voice. He gets a lot of hate for it, but he's the perfect for the job. Isaac on guitar, phenomenal. Nico, phenomenal. Kevin, phenomenal. And then Kevin on the drums again. Phenomenal. They're probably the most fun band who I like showing people, just because, like, how do you listen to this? And I'm like, this is beautiful to me. And I'm showing them Counting Worms. I'm like, this is beautiful. Like, this is art. They're like, what is? I'm like, it's art, man. What can I say? The number 1 with, get this, 4,300 minutes, which equals 64 hours, about, is Wage War. I saw, how many times did I see Wage War this year? 1, 2. Did I see? I only saw him twice this year, but I did have the pleasure of meeting, who was it? It was Steven, Cody, and Seth Blake in Louisville this summer. I talked to Seth Blake for about 45 minutes that night. We just talked about baseball life, and it just further proved that Wage War is my favorite band of all time. Every album they have is phenomenal. Every song is catchy. I somehow get hooked on a brand new song every time I listen to it. like the same album. Like I listen to Pressure, and I'll be obsessed with this song. I listen through it again. I'll be obsessed with another song for like a week, and it just keeps on going. And I can never ever get sick of this band. I can never get sick of these albums that they put out. Their Strip Session just came out. They did a cover of Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash, and it's so much better than the original. I don't really like Johnny Cash, sorry, but I absolutely love Wage War, and they're the greatest band ever to ever touch a microphone and a stage, and I will die on that hill. So that's it for artists. Wage War is my number 1 artist of the year with about 63, 64 hours, and I'm proud of it. Boy, oh boy, am I proud of it. And now we're going to get into songs, and then we're going to wrap up. So let's just get into it. At number 10 was 66 plays, Neon Grave by Dayseeker, a beautiful song, a heartfelt song, a sad song, but I love the way Rory combines sadness and trauma and just grief with all the heavy guitar and it's just beautiful. He has a great voice, and this album's really good, very, very good. A shout out to Dayseeker, man. They always prove, like Dayseeker always does something, man, that just proves why they're metalcore legends. 100%. Number 9, 68 plays, Watchtower, Devil Wears Prada. The song came out, I don't even think the song came out this year. I think the song came out early this year or late last year. But it was just a random single, and they put it on the album. And it's probably one of my favorite Devil Wears Prada songs. I absolutely love this song. It's fun. I love the chorus. I love the breakdown. It's fun. And I love Mike's voice. Excuse me. It's fun, and he's perfect for Devil Wears Prada. Number 8 is a song that's about 50 seconds long with 69 plays, is Counting Worms by Knocked Loose. Probably the most, what's the word I'm looking for, man? Probably the most basic Knocked Loose song anybody could ever listen to. It was like their first ever song that really took off because it was 50 seconds of just Brian being an idiot and barking like a dog. And people love it, and I love it, and whatever. Number 7 and number 6, we got 2 Wage War songs from my favorite album by them. Stitch, it's one of the greatest entrances to any song ever. It's one of the greatest openings ever. And if you don't like Stitch, you don't like music. That's it. 6 is a song I used to hate, actually. This is a song that my best friend always would tell me about the song, how much he loved the acoustic version. And I'd always be like, no, dude, like that song's awful. Like I don't know how you listen to that. It's just not a good song. Like it's not fun. It's not catchy. It's slow. Like this isn't it's not Wage War. Then I listened to it, and I watched a video of it live, and I saw it live, and I was like, yep, that's gonna be my new favorite Wage War song. 6 with 73 plays is Johnny Cash. I was lucky enough to see a Wage War headlining show in Chicago that I went to last second. And they played it, and I saw it live for the first time, and I fell in love with it. If you've never listened to it, the opening to it where Cody hits the high note is beautiful. Breakdown's awesome. It's fun. It's just a great song. And Wage War's amazing. That's about it. At number 5 with 74 plays, my favorite Bad Omen song, as I previously said, Artificial Suicide. I love Noah's voice in this. I love the band in it. I love the instruments in it. This song's fun. It gets the crowd going if you've ever seen it live, and just an overall phenomenal song. And it's just good. That's it. 4, 76 plays. Probably my favorite Knocked Loose song ever is Where Light Divides the Holler. This is my walkout song in Kentucky this summer. Got a lot of weird looks from players and families and friends and fans, but I didn't care. Like it's so electric when the car crashes and then just the guitar hits and you're on a mound or whatever. It's so fun. This is my favorite Knocked Loose song, and it sets the tone for one of the greatest EPs of all time. 3 is probably my second favorite song on the new Architects album, besides Deep Fake, is When We Were Young. This song, I think this song was released in the summer, and in my opinion, it just spoke summer to me. And that's about all I can describe it as. It's fun. It's groovy. It's got a good breakdown. It's fun. Like, if you don't like the song, you just don't like metalcore, and that's about it. Number 2 is my song of the year, and there's honestly not another song where I can say that, like, that compares to this one. It's going to be Number 2 with 84 plays. Oh, by the way, When We Were Young is 77 plays. I don't think I said that. Number 2 with 84 plays, we have Slaughterhouse featuring Brian Garris by Motionless in White. I was there at When We Were Young, not to toot my own horn. I was there when Motionless in White, Chris Motionless, brought out Brian Garris live for this song for the first time ever. And it's honestly my favorite ever memory of a concert in my life. It was unreal, and I was so happy to be there for that. Brian's vocals live are phenomenal. And this, like, I remember hearing this song for the first time. I was in my basement, laying on the couch in the basement, and I heard this song for the first time, and like my brain shut off because it's a long song. I think it's like 5 minutes. My brain shut off for about 5 minutes, just in purely like, what is who wrote this? Like, I can't believe somebody wrote this song this perfectly. This is a perfect song. This in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is probably one of the greatest songs ever, if not the greatest song ever. Just overall, Chris's vocals, Motionless in White, Brian's vocals. There's like 3 breakdowns, and the bridges are awesome. I love this song, and I think it's like I don't say that lightly. This is one of the greatest songs of all time. Like, there's a silly ad right here, but as soon as this ad ends, just listen to how this starts. Like, okay, I guess I will. This right here is like, I was like, oh, the song's over. And then I looked and there was like a minute left and I was like, oh my God. Like, Brian Garris, man. Brian Garris. And let me tell you, live, as soon as that hits and they scream die, Brian does a knock loose level scream where it's just him just like I can't even do it. But if you listen to knock loose, like you know what I'm talking about. And he does it, and it's perfect. It's perfect. Go on YouTube, type in Slaughterhouse Motionless in White featuring Brian Garris When We Were Young Fest 2023 or 2022. It is the greatest live song ever, man, and I will die on that hill, dude. Like, it's so good, man. Like, it's really just the greatest song ever. And I'm honestly surprised that it wasn't my top song, but then again, it's like, I've always liked this number, like my number one song. I've always liked this song, but there was like a phase of like 4 months where this was all I listened to. I listened to this song like 3 times a day, and this is why I think it's got to be my number one song. Let's see. This is the part. Like, like the guitar, man, like that riff, man, it's Jamie's vocals. Like, I honestly think part of the reason this is my top song is because it, like, all Polaris music, like, just radiates summer to you. Like maybe it's just me, but it radiates summer to you. And I saw Polaris in early April, and like at that point, like, you're getting ready for summer, and I was just excited. And then as soon as summer hit, like, it's like this song just felt right. And this is my number one song. I listened to it an even 100 times, and there's still a month left in the year. We're probably gonna get up to like 120. This is the third year in a row. This is the third year in a row of Polaris being my number one song. Past 2 years it was The Remedy. The exact same song was my number one song for the past 2 years, and I was like, oh, like, I wonder if it's gonna be this year. I think it's at like 94, so like it's still on my top 100, which is impressive in itself. But Landmine overtook it as my favorite Player song. I think part of that having to be I saw this song live and I was just in awe. I already loved the song, and then I saw it live and I was just flabbergasted. Jamie's unreal live. That band is unreal. Period. Point blank. Period. Players is unreal. They have the catchiest riffs and the catchiest lyrics, catchiest songs, in my humble opinion. And if you don't listen to them, you're missing out on a lot. This is a good song. Yeah, I need to see Alpha Wolf. Yep. It's settled. I need to see Alpha Wolf. But that wraps up episode 1. Talking about my Apple Music replay. Next week, we're going to break down songs of the year, album of the year. Or maybe we'll do it in like 4 different episodes to like wrap up like the whole year. 3 different episodes. It's a good idea. I just thought of that. But next week, somehow, some way, we're either going to do band of the year, song of the year, or album of the year. Something along those lines. And basically just be ready. I'm super excited for this new show. I had a ton of fun. It's the best 40 minutes I've had in a minute. It's fun. It's a good time. I love talking about this stuff, especially in my basement. It's fun. I love the studio. I love the setup I have. I don't want to change this for the world. And I want to start doing this again. So that's all I got for you. If you guys made this far, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll enjoy it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. And you guys see this new episode I've got coming for you next week. And I hope you guys like this one. And that's all we got. Thank you all for listening. I'll see you guys next week.